Hello and welcome to the European Parliament. My name is Catherine Fior and I'm delighted to welcome Rebecca Harms, former co-president of the Green Group. Rebecca, elections in Germany on Sunday, good result for the Greens?
At least a much better result than many had expected and foreseen. The dominant question so in this electoral campaign in Germany towards the Greens was, why do we need you? So ecology is now with all the other parties. In the end, it came out that people want us, and we are what German journalists call the little winners. So we improved our result compared to the last elections.
And what do you expect now? It looks like you've got the possibility of being part of this government, this so-called Jamaica coalition. Is that a prospect that you're looking forward to?
So you know, Germany is a federal republic. We have such a coalition already in Schleswig-Holstein. Greens are in all kinds of coalitions on this level of the Bundesländer, and sometimes with success, sometimes with less success. But so according to what we agreed before the elections, we did not close to nobody beside the extreme right for possible coalitions. And we will, I think, and it's good, we will as a party go for very serious negotiations. There is little alternative to this Jamaica coalition.
So what will be your red lines in this negotiation? I've seen some MEPs refer to the closing down of coal-fired power stations, others talking about moves on combustible engines and things like that. What are your main priorities?
So at least you have already met one point for priorities of the Greens. So the Paris Agreement and a clear and reliable commitment to really make the targets is what we are requiring in a coalition we join. But also a more sustainable solution to tackle the refugee crisis. So we want not completely open Germany, but we want Germany to accept according to our economic strengths, so people in need. We want also to strengthen and to improve the strategies for refugees outside of the EU, so we need a good balance. And I think social issues, and this is understood perfectly by everybody after these elections, social justice must be also a topic for the Greens.
You mentioned migration. Obviously, that was an argument that played very well for the Alternative for Deutschland. Were you surprised by their results, and were you as surprised as maybe the rest of us were by their sudden pressing of the self-destruct button the following day?
So maybe I was a bit less surprised than so some of those who commented on Sunday evening, because we saw it coming. It was not from the blue, and so you could smell that something happens in Germany, what happened in other EU states before. It's maybe always more threatening if nationalists are winning in Germany compared to France, or thinking about UKIP in UK. Yeah? But you could smell it. And I think as a Green, I'm convinced we should not leave the answer to this only to the Conservative Party. Some say now, so this is a task for Merkel and the CDU-CSU. But I think it's a challenge for the society as such, and the 87% of voters who have not voted extreme right, and so thereby also for my party.
And there was a sharp geographical division there. You could see certainly the former East Germany. We're 30 years on since the wall came down, and yet you can see this very clear division of that vote on that particular.
So you might still remember how upset in Europe everybody is about what's going on in Poland or in Hungary. So we are not on another orbit. We are living in the same world, and east of Germany is still also part of this transformation of society. And for sure, also we made mistakes, and we have to face it. It's so the social problems are partly an issue on this and for reactions, but to be honest, I think also there is a part in our society still convinced that the national state is the better model than the European Union, and they see it as opposite.
A lot of people have been waiting for this election to happen so that we can move forward. I mean, we've got the French elections out of the way, we've got the German elections. This is the motor of Europe, and still, and we're looking to see what happens next. What's going to happen on the Eurozone? What's going to happen on tax reform? What's going to happen on, like you've already mentioned, migration? Do you think that this government, the government that hopefully your party will be a part of, will be able to drive these issues forward?
So I'm not yet sure whether my party will be part of the government. I'm very open for this because I think we have to be responsible in this situation, and many people from my party said they will prepare negotiations. So for Europe, for the European Union, it's also important that Germany has a stable government. So Germany is the biggest country and so one of the so very often dominant nations, and people want also us to take responsibility. So to make it, to guarantee a stable governance is important. Learning from the last 8 to 10 years and so managing the different kind of crisis in Europe, I think so for stability in Europe it matters a lot that we focus on real stability of our common currency and related social problems in the member states.
Can I ask, the FDP were very clear that they did not want any sort of Eurozone budget, and Emmanuel Macron, the new president of France, sees that as an option.
I'm not a friend of this idea of Macron. No. I think Macron is focusing too much on the Eurozone, also with his idea of a Eurozone parliament. I'm more of the opinion that we should not have too many different speeds in the European Union, also not for the Eurozone. And what I'm convinced about is we need true and sustainable investment strategy in European Union to really put signals that from Brussels there is coming support for better economic and sustainable development. This I would focus on, and my party is supporting this.
Finally, I know you were very keen for the UK to say part of the EU. They've chosen to go their separate way. British people were surprised that in the debates, Brexit didn't feature more, and it wasn't at the forefront of the mind of German voters, unsurprisingly. And I'm just wondering, what do you think will happen now? What do you think the approach of your government should be, and the approach of the EU as a whole?
So the general attitude in this is, and many Germans are behind this, so don't punish the Brits, be fair, but take also care of our interests, no cherry picking for UK. My personal opinion is meanwhile completely different. So I'm following from a kind of distance the start of the negotiation process, because so far they are not really negotiating. And I'm still convinced, in spite of that there was a vote in UK, that to remain is the better option, and I will not stop to say it. And I found it quite good to see during the weekend protests organized by Liberals in UK against Brexit and for Remain.
Well, thank you very much, Rebecca Harms, and we will look at interest with what happens in Germany over the next few months. Thank you.
Thank you.